Okay, we're going to take another look at Joe here on the left. 11-year-old Joe from Australia. He's made some changes to his technique. And now we got some video from the 9 o'clock direction, looking toward 3 o'clock. Alright, let's take a look at some of the yellow lines I've put up here. Alright, so one of the things he was working on was maybe getting that right leg, keeping the knee behind the hip there and snapping it forward to get more drive to the front, help him get across the circle. Okay, so you can see that. One of the problems that might happen, you can see I've driven this or drawn this yellow line here. I'm trying to get Valerie Almond to the same position. Okay, so what I'd like to see you do is get your shoulders level. Okay, we're trying to, at this point, we're trying to keep our limbs long. So you want the left arm as long as you can get it, and you want the right arm with the discus out as far as you can from your body. You're trying to increase your radiuses. This will increase your inertia. Okay, so if you bring your left hand up, level your shoulders, that's actually going to bring this discus maybe a little bit lower. So your discus, you're holding it a little bit below your shoulder too much. You can see Valerie Almond does have hers below the shoulder line, but yours is quite a bit lower. And when you, sometimes you get this lean when you have a high right foot. But you can see Valerie Almond also has her high right foot, sweep leg, but she keeps the her left side here, shoulder, her waist and her hip all vertical. You see you have yours leaning forward, inward. Okay, so try to get that more vertical. Your eyes are kind of looking down. You can see where Valerie Almond has her eyes looking toward the throwing direction. Okay, so you want to enter the circle a little bit more upright. All right. The other thing was your right foot, your sweep is coming up a little bit high. I think you probably need that because you know, you're only 11. It's a 8.5 foot circle, or 8 foot 2.5 inch circle. You're landing, it's hard to tell here, but maybe not even quite to the center. So trying to kick high and trying to get your right foot up in the air is maybe you're trying to get more distance across the circle. You could probably get more distance by keeping that knee down and then you got a good drive here. Let's take a look at Valerie Almond. I was going to say if your knee gets up too high, but let's see. You see how her knee's low and the shin angle's right here. Okay, your shin angle's a little bit higher, but you're a little bit farther along. You've already got your sweep leg out in front. So let's keep moving her forward just before the foot comes off, right about here. All right, so let's take a look at the angle up on the shin here. See, you look pretty good. You've got the low knee, which would drive you forward, but you can see how high your right foot is here from the ground compared to Valerie Almond. So you brought your foot up pretty high, almost like a Tom Walsh in the shot put. I bring this up because I think it's going to have an effect later on in the throw, where your left foot maybe come down a little bit late. Get rid of all these lines here. Okay, so let's keep going. Okay, so you're pretty high up in the air, you can see here, but you land pretty good. You're landing right here about 3 o'clock. Your left foot's almost here at 9, so that looks pretty good. If you got your body angled up back to 12 o'clock, back into the circle. Let's take a look at Valerie Almond, put her in the same position with her. Okay, there's her foot contact. Okay, got the angle here. You've got your angle. Looks good. Got the discus up. Okay. One thing you want to try to avoid is having this bend in your wrist. You see that? Try to keep your wrist straight. That could be sometimes from the discus not moving that fast. You're not being pulled. You can see here, Valerie Roman's got the a straight wrist right here. Okay. The other thing is you've got the discus horizontal, and you can see here Valerie Roman has the discus pretty much vertical here. So it's in front of her hand, where your hand is on top, so you're having to hang on to it with your fingers. That can create some tension, and that may be part of the reason your wrist is bent here. So let's keep going forward here. Right, see right here, now you're leading with the back of your hand, so you're really having to hang on with your fingers to keep that discus against your wrist here. And take a look at Valerie Roman. See how she carries it with the hand behind the discus, so the discus is leaning, and then right here she flips it over as she comes around. Okay, just something to think about. Maybe you want to flip that over and keep that discus leading in front like you have right here, rather than turning it over too soon. Okay, so the next thing I wanted to look at was right here. Now your right foot's in a good position here. The right knee over the toe, it's facing out this way about, I don't know, about 10 o'clock, 9:30. Let's put Valerie Roman in the same position. Right about here. Okay, chest is facing 12 o'clock. Okay, you might want to keep your head back a little bit longer. Okay, but the thing is, okay, so both of you don't have your left foot down yet, but hers is a lot closer to the ground, and she's going to have it down in the next frame. Right there, okay? Next 2 frames. Her video is a lot slower, so it's got a lot more frames on it. So right about here. Okay, so she has the left toes in contact. You can see the knees. It's almost like she's doing a squat. They're facing outward. But because your left foot, I don't know if you had it high. Let's see over here. As you come in, it's not too high. So it's above horizontal with the shin. Take a look at Valerie Roman there. You see how her shin stays horizontal here, where you have yours up higher like this. So it's going to take a little bit longer to come down. And what I'm seeing is this is about as far as you want that right knee to be before that left toe comes down and lands. So let's go a couple more frames. You can see you still haven't touched down yet, and your knee is starting to drive in already, but you need that foot down so you can start driving that knee forward and start pulling on that discus. The discus is back here. It's already past 3 o'clock. When the toes come down, the left toes, you want that discus out here about 3. Okay, you already passed that a little bit. That's because the left foot took a little bit long, and the right knee is coming in a little bit soon. Okay, so now the left toes are down. You can see how far the knee is. You should have the position like a squat position, like Valerie Roman has here. But you can see how your knees already come in. The discus has already moved past. Once that left toe goes down, that's when you can start accelerating, because now you have both feet on the ground. Okay, so you want to be able to pull as long as you can. You want that discus back here. Okay, and you've got it right here. So you're losing a lot of pull there. This will add a lot of distance. Okay, so you just want to make sure you land in the position when the left foot's down, left toes come down, the knee is still facing out this way, about 10 o'clock or so, in a squat position. Okay, you see, right? It's when you have your knee forward like this, that means your hips are already far coming ahead, and the discus is already pulling ahead too soon. and you're gonna lose your separation. You can see Valerie Allman here. She has her hips facing the camera. So about 3 o'clock, I'm sorry, not about 9 o'clock, but she has her chest at 12 o'clock. So she's got about 90 degrees of separation here. You can see here where your hips are and your chest, you don't have nearly as much separation there. Here you do. But you're just getting a little bit early pull. Okay, so as long as that left foot comes down, both toes are now on the ground, now you can start accelerating. Okay, so you want to start the discus back here. All right, let's keep going. You were working on trying to get that left foot from aiming off to the left, and I saw you had that pretty much down. You've got, I think, 3 videos from this angle. This one, I was looking at the flight of the discus, looks really good. You're pushing right through the discus. You can see the flight, no wobble. It's perfect. All right, let's take a look at the next one. All right, so right here, see the back of the discus, the front of the discus should be following this line. Okay, and they are. Okay, discus is still following this line. But you see what happens right here? You flipped the back end upward, which brought the front end down. It's still following the line, but now the discus is no longer following this angle. Now it's coming up horizontally. And then watching the next frame, see how it goes. The front comes up again, and it's going to come down. Now it's flat again. So you already know, you've been working on that. The trying to get the wobble out of the discus. So just make sure when you push through the discus, you're pushing through that front edge. You're pushing from the back, but you're pushing through the right through the center of mass, right to the center of that discus. Okay. See, again, this one. So your first throw and your third throw were very good. You're pushing right through there. See, very, very good release. Discus is following that line. Let's take a look at Valerie Allman's here. She comes around. Okay. So that looks good. Let's take a look from the back of the circle. Okay, here again you can see it really clear. You couldn't see it as much as the other video we did, but you see how your left toe here, or the left foot, it's rising up on the outside of the toe into your small toes. Your big toe's coming up in the air. So keep that foot flat, keep those toes in the ground. You're doing that because you're trying to bring that right hip around more, but you need to keep it flat. That's how you create the separation. If you bring that hip back, like by doing this, by letting the foot come up, then you're artificially putting that hip back, and you're not going to have as much separation as you think you are. Okay. Okay, so just keep the big toe flat there. All right, let's click through here. Okay, you're trying to shift over. See, you can see your shoulders are already dipping here. So try to keep those level. Okay, coming out of the back. Here's the pickup of the right foot. Yeah, now you've got the knee behind the hip. Just try it out. I mean, Valerie Allman is one of the few people I see do this, but then you can drive that knee forward and really whip that right foot around that sweep leg really fast. Okay, you're not bringing the left arm as much up as you were the other day. You can see that bend in the wrist here with the discus. Okay, so now your hips are facing 12 o'clock, your foot's facing 12. You want this left elbow also facing 12, right here at the back of the circle. That'll get that discus back to 6 o'clock. That'll get your chest facing over here at 3 o'clock. So you'll get almost 90 degrees of separation between your chest and your hips. You're young enough, you're flexible enough to do it. Okay, so right here, left toes. Looks like they're about down. So this doesn't look too bad here. Because when you get those left toes down, you want that discus out here at 3. So that looks good, and the chest will be at 12. So that looks pretty good. But I see your foot rotate out. Let's take a look. Yeah, it actually looks like you're in your heel here. I think your foot's facing out this way, down the left sector line, but your knee is still facing toward the throwing sector. So you've been working on it. Okay, right here your knee is directly facing forward. That's better than you were doing before with the left knee going down the center line, or the left sector line. So I know you've been working on it. That's good. You can see the wobble in the discus there. So we already talked about that. This next throw, you don't finish it. And I think what happens a lot of times when I see that, the thrower drops that right heel down. I don't know if that's what happened to you here, but let's take a look. You don't normally do this, but I saw you do it on this one. See how your foot landed flat, the heel's on the ground. So in any case, try to keep the heel up, land on the toes, or the forefoot here, and keep turning the foot. Don't let the foot stop. See how it kind of stops? Now it's starting to lift again. Okay, something didn't feel right, I think. And that's almost always the case, is that the right foot landing flat. And then your last throw. What I watch for here is I try to picture a line between your feet. I do this with all throwers. And I try to see that the right foot lands on that line. I gotta make that visible. So you can see how far you're off here, but at least you're on this side of the line. You don't ever want to be on this left side of the line, okay? Yeah, you can see the foot again is trying to land out this way, but the knee is staying forward. So that is an improvement. Definitely. Okay. Let's go back to your first one, see where you land in the middle. This one. All right. So I'm going to move the line over a little bit. Get it right between your feet. Right here. See where you land. Not bad. Right on the middle. Perfect. Okay. Work on those things and send another video. Thanks.